navigate their research and achieve their academic goals. Currently, he is guiding two more PhD candidates, continuing his legacy of nurturing future scholars. His leadership in research is evident from his successful management of major projects funded by UGC, including a significant major research project and a minor research project. Sir has also made substantial contributions to the organization of academic events. He has been instrumental in organizing over 10 conferences, seminars, and workshops both in India and abroad. His dedication has earned him several accolades, including the Best Teacher Award in 2020 and Vice Chancellor Award for Research Excellence in 2022. In terms of administrative roles, Sir has served as the head of the Department of Statistics and as director of the Center for Quantitative Methods. These roles have allowed him to shape the academic programs and research initiatives at his university. His work has been crucial in advancing the department's goals and fostering a strong academic environment. Additionally, Sir's expertise extends to editorial work. He is a member of the editorial boards for several international journals and reviews articles for various academic publications, ensuring the quality and integrity of research in his field. His involvement in designing courses and evaluating exams shows his commitment to enhancing educational standards and ensuring that academic programs meet high standards of excellence. In summary, Sir's career is a testament to his dedication to statistics, education, and research. His extensive contributions have made a lasting impact on the academic community and beyond. We are privileged to recognize and celebrate his outstanding achievements. Today, he is among us and he is the right person to guide us all through this journey in cracking this TS set and provide his insights to all of us, which will be really helpful. So now I welcome Bhatracharyulu sir to guide and interact with us. We welcome you, sir. Please take.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your nice introduction. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Just I will share the screen before starting of this. Is the screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just here I'm going to give the preparation because this is the mathematical sciences for the Telangana state eligibility test for the lecturership, and the same syllabus that what we are following for the UGC CSIR examination under the mathematical science stream. So generally we are having for the statistics, some members they are appearing for the examination of UGC examination under the population studies, and the another streams also they are applying under the mathematical sciences. So major the difference between these two, those who have qualified under the UGC, the population statistics, because that is also a statistics, but those are not eligible for the lecturership under the mathematical statistics. So they must go through the examination of UGC CSIR mathematical sciences only, then only they are eligible. Even for the degree college lecturers, as per the government or even the private also, and for universities, and also for the central universities or IITs or any of the scientific research community. So the minimum eligibility is generally UGC CSIR examination. But due to some problems, there are many of them, they are not qualifying, and also there is some regional problems and several. So they are also conducting this set examination, the statewide. But this statewide examination is eligible only for the within the state. If TG said that examination, once that you have qualified, we are considering under the Telangana state only. Even the whatever the universities are there in the Usmania or Kakatiya or any other in the region of the Telangana state, for all those, these candidates are eligible for the under the lecturership. But if they want to apply for the either the central universities of University of Hyderabad, for those also they are not eligible, even though at here they are eligible, but they are considering only UGC CSR examination. Now, when you are coming to the set net examination and in the net examination, we are having totally the 4 units of the syllabus is there. Out of the 4 units, the first unit and last unit are generally we are specifying for the statistics students of the postgraduate level, and the second and third are specifically for the mathematical. But coming to the first unit, the most of the part is only the mathematical, and it is also a drawback to the major community of the statistics, the students. So now we have to score as maximum as possible the marks either the net examination or set examination based on only the statistics score. Now coming to this set examination, I think all you are already familiar with this is the general the pattern that what we are following it. So general studies, that is 50 questions, and mathematical sciences 100 questions. Now out of this 100 questions of the subject, the statistics is restricted to only the 40 questions. So we are not having the 50% choice. So only the 40. Within this 40, as maximum as possible, that you have to score it. So otherwise, it is very difficult for a statistics students. And whereas the mathematics, they are scoring on the mathematics, and also they are studying the basic part of the probability theory. And some of the universities, they are offering the, 1 or 2 papers related to the mathematical statistics. So they can also score some marks up to 10 or 15 marks because they are not studying in depth about the statistics. Now, coming to the actual syllabus that is prescribed. Now, before going to the statistics, what are the topics are there? The level of the examination, I think that you are already familiar, and with the other members maybe taught the same thing. Now, this we are having the out of the 40 questions, the questions will be framed based only strictly based upon the syllabus only. Generally, it will not go outside. But even though there seems to be outside, but it automatically is restricted, and the question paper is not setted by a single person. It is a group of minimum of 4 to 5 members of the subject experts from various universities. Either it may be a set or it may be a net for any of the states. So from the central universities, from IITs, and from the state universities, the subject experts, a group of the people, they will form a committee and they will decide and they will give 2 or 3 the alternative banks, and based upon that they will select the final question. And in framing of the test also, there are 3 or 4 varieties of the objective multiple choice types. So I think that also that you have already known, those who have already appeared, like a set of statements they are giving it, and out of those, what is the correct or wrong, or matching problems, or selecting the best one, because the 4 options are there and seems to be all are correct, but the best one that you have to select it. And for the given question, out of the 4, so one that you have to select which is only the correct. So there are different varieties also there, but when you are going for the CSIR and NET, there is a negative marking, and also there is a possibility for the multiple answers. But whereas in the set examination, there is no multiple answer questions, only single answer. So out of the 4, only one is correct. That is also best one. And the types or categories of the questions, this is also one of the most important when you are preparing for any of the examination. Some questions are totally logical and reasoning oriented, and some are analogies, and some of the problems are the theoretical, which are the classification type, and some of them are problematic, and some are the theoretical point of view. So yeah, all these that they are framing under the multiple answers only. So either it may be a logical reasoning oriented or analogical, or it may be the classification problem, or it may be a general problem, or it is an experimental basis, or it may be a theoretical concept. And on the theoretical concept, the application oriented also they can ask it. So there are different types of the approaches, and it depends upon the level. And here the standards of the question. So generally, the each and every sector is having some instructions about the question paper should be, some are made easy and some are the moderate and difficult levels, and very difficult level also they are maintaining it. So easy level, as per the general instructions for any of the standard in a competitive examination, so it is only the 15%, and the moderate will be generally the 25%. That means out of the 100 questions, around 25 questions that you can expect as the moderate questions. And easy questions are only the 15%. And we cannot say that those are also the easy, it may be the minimum level they are maintaining. And the difficulty level is the more competitive aspect. So the difficulty level is high, that is 60%. And out of this difficulty level, the higher difficulty level also they are maintaining up to the 20%. So this is generally the instructions. Those are received for any of the paper center. So there should not be only a ordinary multiple choice simply. So some of the questions they have to frame reasoning oriented basis, and whether they are understanding the original concept and deducing, or in a position to deduce the solution to the given problem, which is not directly available in any of the general materials. That type of the logical thinking must be that you have to develop it. So this is the most important part that each and every the student has to know, and accordingly that you have to plan for the preparation. Okay. So the next, when you are coming to the syllabus seems to be very small, only 1 unit of the syllabus. But when you are coming to the same, there are totally around 10 papers syllabus. So in the post-graduation level of the statistics specifically, the 10 core papers, the syllabus that is involved in the only one unit, that is unit 4. So the syllabus that all think that you are already familiar, so descriptive statistics and related to the probability and some stochastic process and distribution theory and the theory of estimation and parametric inference and non-parametric inference and the linear models and multivariate analysis, sampling theory and design of experiments and the reliability theory and operations research. So these are the major the paper that which are the core papers. That's why generally in any of the post-graduation syllabus related to the statistics also, we are dividing the total papers into the core papers and elective papers. So the core papers must cover the as per the UGC is prescribed. So this is also as per the UGC syllabus, even though it seems to be very small, but the syllabus is very lengthy. The full paper syllabus that what generally you are studying in the post-graduation level, that will be covered. Now I will go through about the each and every topic. Now coming to the number of questions. So generally in the basic statistics, that is explanatory analysis or descriptive, you may get the question or may not get, but the least priority, so maximum of one question, there is a chance to get it. And whereas the probability theory, so probability theory is totally this portion of the syllabus. The basic probability concepts and random variables and distributions and the mathematical expectation part and the probability inequalities and also the theory of convergence. So entire part that you are treating, and this part is covering so 5 to 7, minimum 5 questions related to the probability theory. And I will go through about in depth about what type of the question they may ask and what are the major reference books, that also that I will tell. Now coming to the stochastic process, in the stochastic process you can expect the 2 questions, so maximum of 3. And in the distribution theory, so it seems to be small, but the standard, discrete and continuous of univariate, that means all distributions that are involved in the same part and all the sampling distributions are involved, including whatever the concepts or properties or that your derivation that you are doing are problematic or applications, everything is involved in the these concepts. So you can expect the more number of questions on the distribution theory. So the higher weightage, so you can expect a minimum of 7 up to 10. In some course papers there are some 6 questions, but high priority is there, that is 6 to 10. Even when you are preparing for the GATE examination also, the more higher priority is for the distribution theory. So around 20 to 30 marks that is related to the distribution theory. When you are going for the higher, it is very difficult to distinguish the problem is under the probability or the distribution also. Now, in the estimation theory, we can expect 3 to 5 questions, and in the parametric inference, 2 to 4 questions, and non-parametric 2 to 4, and totally the 5, 6, and 7 is called the statistical inference. This is the totally we are treating as a single paper also. In many of the universities, they are taking the estimation theory, parametric and non-parametric inference as a single paper. And it is covering the next highest, the number of questions that you can expect. So to minimum 10 questions, 10 to 15 questions related to the 5, 6, and 7. And the rest of the topics, that is the linear models, we may expect the question, and it may be an application and combination with the design of experiments. Hello? Any disturbance?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible or?
Audible, sir.
Yeah.
Audible, sir.
No. The regression analysis is there, but which is we are having only the primary, and which is you can expect maximum of one question, and in depends upon the sectors and their field. So you can also expect up to maximum of 2. And multivariate analysis is also 2, and all multivariate sampling theory, design of experiments, and reliability theory, and these are all related to the 2 to 3 questions. And generally, out of this, we can expect the more is from the design and analysis of experiments. And coming to the same, if you are tabulating, the probability theory is 5 to 8, and stochastic process 2 to 3, and some of them they are treating that the probability theory and stochastic process is only one part, that is the probability theory. Then we can expect the 7. And distribution theory as a separate, and this 3 is again, it is a statistical inference. So those who are preparing, you have to concentrate on these papers primarily: probability theory and stochastic process, distribution theory, and inference. And the next highest is the linear models and design of experiments. Because without the concept of the linear models, we cannot understand the design of experiments. Therefore, and also totally it is based. Therefore, you can expect on the combination part only, that is 3 to 4. And in the rest, you can expect 1 or 2 or 3. That's are the maximum number of questions in other branches. So these are the major core papers that you can treat. Even sampling is also one of the core paper that you can expect maximum 2 to 4 questions. Minimum is 2 questions generally you can expect. Now, the model of the questions are, we are not there asking the statement of the theorem. Generally, they will give the conditions or assumptions. So we have to identify, or we have to apply the, this is one of the question that I collected from the previous question paper. This is one question, and there is also another question which is on the distribution theory. And this is a matching problem type. And this is a statement type of the problems. So each statement is a one problem solvation, and you have to solve it, and which is very complicated. So each is a separate problem, and on the overall that you have to give the correct statements or wrong statement. So for this type of the questions of the statements and identifying of true or false, the more practice is required. You have to solve many number of problems many times, then only you can remember and you can directly identify it. So if you are otherwise, it is very difficult. These are the this type of the problems are to increase the difficulty level. They are putting this type of the problems. And even here, even design of experiments, one of the example, the identifying of the confounded term. And this is one of the estimation problem. as a numerical or general, the real-time application oriented, the problem generally they will specify it. And this is also the statement of the theorem. And we are in the statements, what are the conditions that are involved? That you have to identify it. What is the difference between, suppose you are taking the central limit theorem. There are different type of the central limit theorems are there. Now, how you can, which central limit theorem, when that you have to apply it. So this is the one of the most important part when you are solving the problems. Now coming to the theory of the probability. So this is the total syllabus that what you have studied in the most of them who are having the background of the statistics. So the probability theory, the total paper, and those who are not statistics background, generally they will study up to this part. So up to the random variables and mathematical expectation. And these topics are also covered generally in the undergraduate statistics also. And these are the advanced parts. So generally the advanced part, the probability problem that you can expect more number of questions, and which is also complicated, that is the theory of convergence and law of large numbers and central limit theorem. And we can expect not as a theorem, and we can expect mostly as problem solutions. Either it may be the inequalities, or it may be law of large numbers or central limit theorem problems, or theory of convergence problems, or generally the probability problem, or the characteristic function is also one of the most important part in the concept of the probability theory. And in case of the characteristic function, the complex functions only generally we can expect. So that means those who are mostly familiar with the complex variables, so then it is very easy to solve this type of the characteristic functions. And these are the basic terminology related to the probability theory. So first they have to understand the definition, the physical conditions or assumptions in the statement or the problem. Then only they are perfectly can solve the problem even if it is an application oriented. Now you concentrate about these are the major reference books. The most of them are theoretical oriented. The B.R. Bhatt, the Modern Probability Theory, Rohatgi, and which is Introduction to the Probability Theory, and A.K. Basu, which is totally is on measure theory approach for the probability, and the most of the application oriented problems that you can expect from Sheldon Ross. So this is application oriented, and this is also the another book, a first course in probability theory. So this is one of the standard book and the reference book that you can treat in the probability theory. And generally application oriented, and most of the universities they are taking the syllabus is from Sheldon Ross. Now coming to the distribution theory, this is the second, the highest number of the question that you can expect from this one, and those problems are typical and which are totally you can solve if you are perfectly practicing it and understanding, and also you are familiar with the application oriented of each of the distribution and real-time situations. So those are the major concepts that you have to concentrate it. And in total distribution theory, the most of the problems, those are surrounded by the transformations of the random variables. Each and every problem almost linked with the transformations of the random variable. It may be univariate, or it may be a bivariate, or it may be a multivariate. So, but generally they won't go for the multivariate, only bivariate. And even generally when you are checking the GATE examination, so the most of the problems are transformations of the random variables. This transformation, it is not seems to be as a transformation, but ultimately it comes under the part of the transformations of the random variable. You can expect the distributional transformations are also there, and the general functions, and generally it is typical, and if you are practicing around 100 to 200 problems related to the this type, then you are very strong in the transformations, because the distributional transformations is playing a key role. And generally they won't ask directly the general properties of the distribution. If they want to give the easy questions or moderate questions, then only they will go for the general properties, or the characteristic function, or moment generating function, or the moments, or the type of the or simple problem related to that. And whenever it is a complication, or and you have to study the distribution theory on procedural oriented, not by-hatting nature. Totally it is a procedural oriented, and most of them they are treating that this is a by-hatting nature, but that type of the nature is not at all required, because totally it is a logical oriented questions are more in the distribution theory. And also there are the practical and application oriented, so those are also involved in the same concepts. So that's why you have to concentrate much more about the distribution theory in logical oriented and procedural oriented. So because for each and every one there is a specific procedure for the solvation of the problem. That procedure that you have to understand, that is a major concept, and try to solve a different type of the problems. Now coming to the textbooks, so these are the major textbooks for the distribution theory, linear statistical inference, and also you can refer the same whatever the Rohatgi textbook, or Parimal Mukhopadhyay, or Johnson and Coach, the distribution theory, and A.K. Bhuyan, the distribution theory, and also the multivariate is also involved in the same book, and Gupta and Kapoor, that is the fundamentals of mathematical statistics, Bansal and Sanjay Arora, and this is also fundamentals of new mathematical statistics. Now coming to the estimation theory, so in the inference part, major three: general estimation theory, parametric inference, and non-parametric. These three are simply we are calling as inference only. And estimation theory, we can expect a minimum of 3 questions, and the 3 questions are based on the problematic oriented, and you have to concentrate the mostly is abnormal cases. Even the probability theory also, that abnormal, the characteristics where for which probability function they are existing, you have to concentrate on those parts. Even for the sufficiency condition, because sufficient statistic, in most of the general cases it is very easy to evaluate, like they won't generally ask for the binomial or Poisson, or it may be exponential or some other. What are the abnormal cases such that the order statistics are involved? Or suppose if it is a maximum likelihood, so we are not in a position to differentiate, and we are not obtaining one of the equation to solve it. So that type of the questions are, you have to concentrate more, even on the maximum likelihood, or on the conditions of the sufficiency statistic, and the consistent estimator, and computing of the minimum variance bound or uniformly minimum variance bound, and also the confidence interval estimation. And for the major distributions, generally they will ask only the basic, but they won't specify the distribution. General questions only, mostly on the normality, they will ask it, because based upon the parameters and the distribution is also involved. And the major reference books, Gun Gupta and Das Gupta for the estimation theory, and Lehman and Surendra and Saxena. So this is somewhat very easy to follow. And another book that is even the Gupta and Kapoor, also covering the basic part of the estimation theory, not the advanced one. Surendra and Saxena and Srivatsava is another book which is mostly covering the estimation theory. And coming to the parametric inference, we can expect 2 to 4 questions in this one. And those questions are also totally problematic. And the problematic also not directly existing the test statistic part. So like abnormal cases, so specifically you have to concentrate about the uniform distribution of different bounds, because some of the bounds, whatever the lower limit and upper limit that are existing, like A to B, are in between 0 to theta, or theta minus 1 to theta plus 1, or theta minus half to theta plus half of uniform, or Cauchy distribution, or Laplace distribution, or hypergeometric distribution. These are the abnormal problems. And this type of the problems that you have to concentrate, either for the existence of MP test or UMP test. And generally in the most likely likelihood ratio test, the test statistics only. And the next that what you have to concentrate, one question that you can expect on the SPRT, the in computing of the sample size determination. And these are the major reference books, the Rohatgi and Wald sequential. This is a SPRT that you can refer this book. And Lehman, testing of hypothesis for the parametric inference, and Srivatsava. This is also that you can refer for the same, the estimation, the basic part. And in the Surendra and Saxena also, the many solved problems are there. So solved problems mostly that you can find out in Srivatsava and Surendran. And Srivatsava also, there is a testing of hypothesis book is available. That book, in that book also there are many. And Dhanvantan is another book which is a statistical inference, Rajagopal and Dhanvantan. And that in that book also many solved problems that you can find out. So related to the parametric inference and estimation theory. So these two topics are covered in the Rajagopal and Dhanvantan statistical inference. And coming to the non-parametric, so when you are comparing with the parametric, in the non-parametric, you can expect the more number of the questions. And these problems are also distributional oriented, which are very typical and which is very difficult if you are understanding the basic concept of the non-parametric test. Then only it is possible to find out the probability distribution of the corresponding test statistic. Like sign test, what is the corresponding the probability distribution? Suppose Mann-Whitney U test, what is the probability distribution for the U? And what a Wilcoxon sign rank test, what is the probability distribution for the rankings? Even the Spearman's rank correlation or Kendall-Stowe. So you have to concentrate about the distributional oriented, and later that you can concentrate about the computation of the mean and variances. And if they are asking the mean and variances because there is a lot of confusion, you can expect either the statement type or the matching problems. And the major reference book for the inference is Gibbons and Conover, which is the practical non-parametric statistics, and totally all solved problems that you can find out in Conover and Daniel. So Daniel book also, it is totally solved problems of the non-parametric, but these are not covering the theoretical aspect. So for theoretical aspect, you have to concentrate about only the book of the Gibbons. And another book, the non-parametric by Sydney and Seigel also, that you can refer. For some test statistics, they are given the derivative parts. And the next topic, that is multivariate analysis. So in the multivariate, even though the multinomial distribution that is not specified, by default it is there, because many of the logistic regression and other parts are there, which are mainly based upon the multinomial. And multinomial and multivariate normal distribution, and Hartlink t-square, Mahalanobis d-square, and principal component, factor analysis, canonical correlation, and cluster analysis. And in all these parts, the problems are generally you can expect not as a theoretical oriented, application oriented only. And somewhat the problems are given, the problems related to the multivariate are not that much of difficult. It is somewhat very easy, because it is an application, and once that you are familiar with the tool, it is very easy to solve it. So this is one of the easiest topic. And major reference book that you can follow for the theoretical aspect is totally is Anderson and Ksheirsagar, and totally is an application and very easy to understand, that is Johnson and Wichern book. And the another reference books are also Morrison and Giri. Now, the another topic, that is sampling techniques. And in the sampling, the most of the topics that you are having under the undergraduation level only. But cluster sampling, and these are only one time they are asked the question, and in the alternatives or options they may give for the confusion aspect. So that's why you must be familiar with the major on the probabilities sampling methods. So non-probability sampling methods, there is no need to concentrate, and major that what you have to stress about the efficiencies and efficiency comparisons, the formulas, and totally they may not ask much on the application oriented this related, because there are only one or two questions, but compulsory minimum of two questions that you can expect on the sampling techniques. The standard textbook is the Cochrane, or for easy understanding, the M.N. Murthy and Deshraj. And P.V. Sukhatme, that is another book that is also very easy to understand and totally is an application oriented. So P.V. Sukhatme and Sukhatme, this textbook is. And sampling theory by Parimal Mukhopadhyay, which is also a theoretical oriented but not an application oriented. And mostly the problematic oriented or substitution simple problem that you can refer the Murthy and Murthy. Actually, the two Murthis are there. Murthy and Murthy is sampling theory. And the another topic that here are combined the linear models and design of experiments, because they may not expect even one question sometimes from the linear models. But for understanding of the design and analysis of experiments, the linear models are the most important. Therefore, we can treat that entirely as only a single unit. So maybe the basic complete block designs and incomplete block designs and the factorial experiments. So these are the major topics. Complete block designs means CRD, RVD, LSD. Incomplete block designs, the BIBD, Udell square, and the PBIBD. These are because there is a concept called connectedness is involved. Connected designs are nothing but BIBD and PBIBD and Udell square design. Lattice design is also a connected design. So even though these terms are not there, based upon the broad of the connectedness, all the incomplete block designs are involved. And generally the C information matrix, they have to understand and related to that, you can expect one question from the incomplete block designs, one question on the factorial experiments, and one may be the other question may be a complete block or the linear models. And even the part of the factorial experiments, the difficult part is identifying of the confounded terms. So the complication that is also involved. So 3 or 4 replications and 4 parts are given, identifying, and which is also time consuming unless that you are not practicing it. And you can refer the major book for the linear models and design of linear models is Searle book, that is a standard, and another is Grable. So this is also one of the major book, and Galtman, that is the linear models. Whereas for the design of experiments, you can concentrate. Major is the Montgomery, which is very easy to understand, and Kempthron. And in the Montgomery, the problematic orientation is also involved in it. But for the block designs, it is better to refer Amendas, because incomplete block designs, those are all not given clarity in the Montgomery. So it is better to refer the Das and Giri. So NC Giri is only analysis of variance. Das and Giri is again another book which is modified of Amendas design and analysis of experiments. And the another last topic, that is optimization techniques. We can expect the 2 questions. Those 2 also, one is on generally on linear programming problem, and another that you can expect on either queuing theory or inventory model, because both are there. So in sometimes one on inventory and one on queuing theory. One you can expect on queuing theory, one on inventory, and another that you can expect on the linear programming. It may be a simplex or dual simplex or the other. And you can refer the standard book, any of the book, but the theoretical concepts, the Gauss book is there, and application or problematic oriented, that is SD Sharma and Taha and Kanti Swarup. And whatever the topic that you are studying, in all the cases, you concentrate about major or abnormal properties of any of the problem that you are studying it. Either it may be distribution, or it may be a probability problem, or it may be operations such. The abnormal cases that you have to concentrate much more. Abnormal means not existing in a general way. What are the various other the does not exist cases, and in those, what is the typical situation for solving the problem? So these that you have to concentrate more. that is deciding the difficult level, because the set examination or net examination or JRF, they are taking only the 6% maximum out of the total appearance. 100 members means they have to select only 6. Therefore, automatically they have to increase the difficulty level. So this what you have to remember it. So difficulty level, why they are placing, that is totally is based upon the percentage, the 6%. And if more number, again